You're driving to work. The radio's on, but you're not listening. You're in the middle of a conversation with someone who isn't there. You're saying the thing you should have said 3 months ago. You're waiting for them to explain why they disappeared. You rehearse it again and again. Here's the problem. That conversation will never happen. And you're still waiting for permission to move on. We tell ourselves we need closure before we can let go. We need the apology, the explanation, the acknowledgement that what happened actually mattered. Without it, the story feels incomplete. So we hold the door open. We check our phones. We replay the last conversation, searching for clues we might have missed. But here's what we don't talk about. Closure isn't really about understanding what happened. It's about control. When someone walks away without explanation, they take the pen out of your hand. They get to write the ending. You're left holding a half-finished sentence, and your brain hates that. It wants resolution. It wants the story to make sense. So it keeps the file open, running in the background, draining your energy while you try to live your life. The deepest issue isn't the absence of answers. It's that you've outsourced your piece to someone who's already moved on. You've handed them the authority to decide when you're allowed to feel whole again. And most of the time, they don't even know they have it. They're not thinking about you at all. They're not losing sleep. They're not rehearsing conversations in the car. You are. This is why closure feels so urgent. Your nervous system treats the unfinished interaction like an open wound. It keeps signaling that something needs to be resolved. And because the other person holds the missing piece, you stay tethered to them. Waiting, hoping, imagining a moment that may never come. But what if closure was never theirs to give? In the 1920s, a psychologist named Bluma Zeigarnik noticed something strange. She was sitting in a cafe in Vienna, watching waiters move between tables. The waiters could remember complex, unpaid orders perfectly, but the moment a bill was settled, the details vanished from their memory. Finished tasks disappeared. Unfinished ones stayed active. Zeigarnik tested this in her lab. She gave people a series of tasks, then interrupted them halfway through some of the activities. Later, she asked them what they remembered. People recalled the interrupted tasks almost twice as well as the ones they completed. This became known as the Zeigarnik Effect. The mind holds on to what's unfinished. It keeps it alive, looping in the background, because the brain is wired to seek completion. This applies to more than tasks. It applies to conversations, to relationships, to moments that ended without resolution. Your brain flags these as incomplete, and it won't let them go until it perceives them as closed. That's why you keep thinking about the person who ghosted you, even when you don't want to. That's why you replay the argument that never got resolved. Your mind is trying to finish what it started. But here's the part most people miss. The Zeigarnik Effect doesn't require the other person to close the loop. It just requires a sense of completion. And that can come from you. You don't need their apology to finish the story. You need your own decision that the story is over. The loop stays open because you're waiting for external resolution. It closes the moment you provide internal resolution. This isn't about pretending it didn't hurt. It's about recognizing that waiting for someone else to release you is a choice. And it's a choice that keeps you stuck. The permission you're waiting for, you already have it. You just haven't claimed it yet. Let's be honest about what you're actually hoping for. You want them to come back. You want them to say, "I'm sorry, I was wrong. You deserved better." You want validation that your pain was justified, that it wasn't your fault, that you mattered, and maybe, in some alternate universe, that conversation happens. But even if it does, it won't feel the way you think. Because closure isn't a thing someone hands you, it's a narrative you build. And the version you've been rehearsing in your head is a fantasy. The real conversation, if it ever happened, would be messy, defensive, disappointing. It wouldn't give you the relief you've been imagining. Most of the time, people don't leave because of some deep, articulable reason. They leave because they're confused, or scared, or distracted by their own life. They're not villains in your story. They're just people who made a choice that hurt you, often without much thought at all. Expecting them to deliver a coherent explanation is like expecting a stranger to narrate your feelings back to you. They can't. They weren't paying that much attention. The closure you're chasing is a version of events where everything makes sense and you get to feel resolved. But life doesn't work that way. People don't come with user manuals. Relationships end for reasons that don't fit into neat explanations. And the longer you wait for clarity from someone who can't or won't provide it, the longer you stay in limbo. Here's the truth. The story is already over. You're just refusing to write the last line. Every time you imagine that conversation, you're not processing, you're repeating. There's a difference. Processing moves you forward. Repetition keeps you locked in place. And your brain doesn't know the difference between a real conversation and an imagined one. It fires the same neural pathways. It triggers the same emotional response. You're reliving the hurt, over and over, calling it healing. This is where people get stuck for years. They think they're working through it. They're journaling about it, talking to friends about it, meditating on it. But underneath all of that, they're still waiting. They're still hoping the person will reach out. The work becomes a holding pattern, a way to stay connected without admitting that's what you're doing. Real healing doesn't feel productive at first. It feels like giving up. It feels like walking away from the question instead of solving it. It feels like betraying the part of you that still cares. Because to truly move on, you have to stop needing the answer. You have to let the question dissolve. And that takes more courage than waiting ever did. This is the part no one tells you. Moving on without closure feels like losing twice. First, you lose the relationship. Then, you lose the hope that it will ever make sense. But that second loss is the one that sets you free. Because hope, when it's misplaced, is just another word for chains. Stop rehearsing. Start releasing. The difference will change everything. You don't need their participation to finish this. You need a decision. A clear, conscious choice that you're done waiting. That doesn't mean you have all the answers. It means you've accepted that you never will, and you're moving forward anyway. This is what self-created closure looks like. You write the last chapter, not the one where they come back, not the one where they finally understand, the one where you stop giving them space in your head, where you take back the energy you've been spending on someone who isn't spending any on you. Some people do this with a letter they never send. They write everything they wanted to say, then burn it. Some people do it with a simple statement, spoken aloud to an empty room. This is over. I'm done carrying this. Some people mark it with a physical act, deleting the text thread, unfollowing, removing the reminders. The method doesn't matter. The intention does. What you're doing is signaling to your own mind that the loop is closed. You're giving your brain the resolution it's been searching for, not from them, from you. And because the Zeigarnik Effect responds to perceived completion, this works. The moment you decide it's finished, the mental weight begins to lift. This isn't about pretending you don't care. It's about refusing to let your peace depend on someone else's timing. It's about recognizing that the only person who can release you is you. They already moved on. You're the one still holding the door. Let it close. You'll be surprised how much lighter you feel when you stop waiting for permission that was never theirs to give. There's a quiet kind of power in leaving without the answers. It says, I don't need you to validate my experience. I know what happened. I know how it felt. And I'm choosing to move forward without your version of events. Most people think closure is about resolution. It's not. It's about surrender. Surrendering the need to be right. Surrendering the need to be understood. Surrendering the fantasy that if they just explained themselves, you'd finally be okay. You'll be okay without it. That's the part you keep forgetting. Walking away empty-handed doesn't mean you lost. It means you stopped playing a game that was rigged from the start. Because as long as you need something from someone who's already gone, you're giving them power they didn't earn and don't deserve. The moment you stop needing it, you take that power back. The strength isn't in getting closure. It's in realizing you never needed it in the first place. Here's what you do today, not tomorrow. Today, you're going to close the loop yourself. Pick one person or situation you've been waiting on, the one that still lives in your chest, the one you think about when you're alone. Write down, by hand, one sentence. I release my need for closure from this person. Don't write a letter to them. Don't explain. Don't justify. Just that one line. Then say it out loud. Hear yourself say it. Let your nervous system register that you mean it. Next, do one small, physical thing that marks the end. Delete the thread. Unfollow the account. Move the photo to an archive folder. Throw away the thing that reminds you. This isn't about erasing the past. It's about signaling to your brain that the door is closed. The Zeigarnik Effect responds to completion, so complete it. Then, the hardest part, when the thought comes back, and it will, don't engage. Don't rehearse the conversation. Don't imagine the apology. Just notice the thought and say, quietly, that chapter is closed. Redirect. Every single time, you're retraining your brain to stop searching for something that isn't coming. This won't feel satisfying at first. It'll feel empty, like you gave up. That's normal. Sit with it. The relief doesn't come immediately. It comes 2 weeks later, when you realize you haven't thought about them in days. It comes when someone asks about it, and you genuinely don't feel the weight anymore. It comes quietly, the way real healing always does. You don't need their apology. You don't need their explanation. You need your own decision that you're done waiting. Make it today. You're driving to work again. The radio's on. This time you're listening. The imaginary conversation hasn't started. You notice that. For the first time in months, the background noise in your head is quiet. You're not waiting for a text. You're not wondering if they think about you. You're just here, present, free. That person still never apologized. They still never explained. And somehow, it doesn't matter anymore. Not because you stopped caring, but because you stopped waiting. You closed the door yourself. You finished the story. And you did it without their permission. That's the thing about closure. You thought you needed it from them, but you only ever needed it from yourself. The moment you stop outsourcing your peace, you get it back. All of it. And you realize the weight you were carrying wasn't the relationship, it was the waiting. You don't need closure to move on. You just need to stop believing that you do.